Well, hello. Welcome once again to Stuff and Things, where I like to talk about stuffs and occasionally even things. I'm your good friend Bradley, and today is a pleasant Sunday Stuff and Things, and it is also very close to Christmas. We are less than a week away from Christmas time. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas to all of you out there. And I thought we would talk a little bit about Christmas on this episode. Let's get into what we will be discussing on this Sunday Stuff and Things. We're going to be talking about videos which we'll be posting over the holiday period on the Stuff and Things channel and on Stuff and Things Plays. We are going to give some advice for new YouTubers. I've had several people ask me for advice on cameras and microphones and what they should do if they're starting a YouTube channel. We were going to get into holiday memories. I want to talk about your favorite holiday gift that you got as a child. I'll be talking about my favorite gift, and then I would love to hear from you in the comments about your favorite gift or the most memorable gift you ever received as a child. And then we will talk a little bit about the Seahawks, because we have to, and we will of course round everything out with hashtag #AskStuffandThings. That is where I answer questions from you. But let's get into the first topic. All right, so it is the holiday season. We're getting close to Christmas, and there's just a lot going on for everybody out there, I know. So I really appreciate you watching, taking the time out from your friends and family and the things that you're doing over the holidays to watch Stuff and Things. And you may be wondering what videos we'll be posting on Stuff and Things and Stuff and Things Plays. I am planning on keeping up a normal schedule. So this coming week, obviously you're getting the Sunday Stuff and Things right now. On the Stuff and Things channel on Wednesday, I'm going to have a special kind of Christmassy video about Sutliff, Cringle, Flake. There is no label on this tin, but there you go. You can sort of see this blank tin that Sutliff sent me. A really interesting holiday blend. It is no longer available, from what I can tell, on any online retailers or anything, but it was very Christmassy, and I wasn't expecting that. It's a Virginia Perique mixture, but they have done some things, the way they've processed the blend, to make it taste very Christmassy. So that will be the Wednesday video on Stuff and Things. Then, obviously, Christmas Eve is on Thursday, Christmas Day is on Friday, and what I'm trying to debate is whether or not I'm going to have just a normal Sunday Stuff and Things, or at least not totally normal because I'm going to be doing family stuff, but maybe we'll do it after Christmas catch-up on Sunday, or doing a video on Christmas Day itself. And I think I'm leaning towards the after Christmas video at Sunday at the normal time, because I think that would work out best for me as well, because I'll have more time maybe on the Saturday after Christmas to do a video for you all. And we could maybe just go over our holidays and how they went, how Christmas Eve, Christmas Day went, if we were able to see family, what kinds of things we did. So I think that's what's going to be coming up next Sunday. On Stuff and Things Plays, you may have noticed, if you were following along on that channel, that I have started posting content from Cyberpunk 2077. Right now, I'm doing every other video. We're still doing Soma, so we're due Soma on a Monday, Cyberpunk on a Wednesday, Soma on a Friday, then Cyberpunk on a Monday. I know that's kind of annoying because it spaces things out a lot, but I don't want to abandon Soma, and I just don't have time to do more than 3 videos on Sunday, or Stuff and Things Plays every week. We should be done with Soma soon, and then we'll just be all Cyberpunk until we finish Cyberpunk. I'm really enjoying that game so far. I've had a few technical hiccups with trying to record. The problem is when I am playing the game on my computer and then recording with my computer at the same time, you get a little bit of a CPU bottleneck. So I've had some stuttering with the footage, but I think I've got all that kind of ironed out by now, hopefully. And then also there are some audio issues that I think I've got ironed out by now as well. So that will be, I don't know, by episode 3 or 4, everything should be pretty good in the Cyberpunk videos. So those are coming up. And I think that's going to take us through the holidays. Obviously, we'll be doing stuff. I don't take time off. Like, a lot of people seem to take weeks off during the holidays. I don't. So I'll be working and I'll be posting videos as usual. I'm just talking about the week of Christmas. We'll have Wednesday, the Sutliff Cringle Flake video, and then on Sunday after Christmas, we'll have a Sunday Stuff and Things. It'll be a little different because we'll be sort of just catching up about our holidays. And then, of course, on Stuff and Things Plays, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we will continue with Cyberpunk and Soma. Next, I've had quite a few questions recently where people have written me to say, hey, I'm starting a YouTube channel. Would you check out my videos? Let me know what you think of them. What do you think of the quality? And I think I've mentioned things like this before in the past where people have asked for advice on doing YouTube. And I just want to preface this by saying I am not a successful YouTuber. I have, 36,000, 37,000 subscribers on a channel, which is amazing. And I thank you all so much for subscribing. Hit that button if you haven't. But I am by no means a large YouTuber. I am not by any means someone who makes a living off of doing YouTube. I make almost nothing from actual YouTube videos. Anything I get is pretty much from Patreon supporters, so thank you very much for that if you are a Patreon supporter. So take my advice with a grain of salt. I'm not going to be able to tell you how to be successful on YouTube because I am not successful on YouTube. But as far as technical stuff, and that's what a lot of people seem to want to know about, if I have to give you any advice when you're starting out, I just got this fancy camera, and that was a big deal for me. But if you're just starting, you don't need a super fancy camera. If you have a fairly recent phone, an iPhone, whatever, you can take decent video. What you need to do is make sure when you are recording your video, you do not hold your phone like this. If you are using your phone, do not record in vertical or portrait mode. Flip it over like this. Record in landscape or widescreen. It makes a huge difference. It's very important. Please do that. That's my number one advice. Number two is try to invest at least, if you're not going to buy a camera. And we're back. My battery went dead. Hopefully I didn't lose anything. I don't know what happens if your battery goes dead and it's writing to the card. Ugh. Hopefully we still have the footage. I guess you will know by the time you're watching this. As I was saying, if you're not going to invest in a dedicated camera for YouTube, at least invest in a mic. Don't just use the audio from your phone if you're recording with your phone or whatever. I have here a little lav mic. It is by Rode. It is called the Smart Lav Plus, I think, and it is actually made to be used with a cell phone or with a smartphone, and I have an adapter to make it so I can just plug it into my camera. It makes a huge difference if you have a dedicated microphone, and there are all sorts of different options out there. This just happens to be the one I use. It's actually fairly cheap. I think it's only like 80, 90 bucks, something like that. So for a mic, that's fairly cheap. So landscape mode when you're recording, a dedicated microphone for the audio. And other than that, just try to post consistently. And I guess even better advice, and advice that I haven't taken myself, is if you really want to be successful on YouTube, find one thing and only talk about one thing, because that seems to be what makes people successful. I have an eclectic mix of things on this channel. I always have. And I know that in some ways that probably holds me back a little bit, but it's what I like, it's what I do. And that's just how it is. I'm stumbling over my own tongue in my mouth right now. But hopefully that will give you some useful tips, those of you out there who have asked me for advice. I'll just mention, some of you have probably seen the video changing a little bit throughout the last few weeks. I think I pretty much have it in, or dialed in the way I like it now, with the color temperature and everything. We shall see. What is going on with my lights back there? I thought I had that on yellow. So this should be pretty much where we're going. I am trying one crazy thing. I have been uploading the videos or exporting the videos in 4K, even though I was recording them in 1080. That just gives you a bit more quality when YouTube compresses them. But I'm actually recording this in 4K, and we're going to see how that works with editing on my computer. The files might be very difficult for me to work with, but I'm going to check that. We're going to see if the quality is upped even more by recording in 4K. We shall see. A little bit of Cringle Flake here. Next, I guess the topic of the show. It is close to Christmas time, and the thing that reminded me of this, or made me think of this topic, was I was in the grocery store today and I was picking up groceries, but then also just kind of last minute little things, stocking stuffer stuff. And I saw something that I impulse buyed, which I don't know why I did. I don't need it. It's dumb. But I think it was just the 10-year-old me seeing this thing and wishing that I had it, or knowing that if I had been 10 years old and I saw this thing, I would have absolutely loved it. It is a Hot Wheels Millennium Falcon. And I saw this and was like, oh my God, I would have loved this as a child. And I purchased it, and then I realized that I guess Hot Wheels are no longer made of die-cast metal. I don't know when this happened, but when I was a kid, Hot Wheels, the cars, little toy cars that you could get, they were always made of die-cast metal. This is made of plastic. And now I just have this pointless tchotchke, but it was $3. But I just thought of that, like, as a child, I don't know if I would have been disappointed if it were plastic or not. I would have loved it regardless, because it is the Millennium Falcon and it looks pretty cool. Now it's kind of pointless to me, but it just made me think of presents that I had gotten in the past as a kid, and I was trying to think of what was the number one present as far as something I had wanted so much as a child and I actually got it. And I had to think long and hard, and I don't know if I have the real answer, but it's the best thing I could think of. And I'm sure if my mom or dad watches this, they'll remind me of something that was amazing that I'm totally forgetting. But just thinking back on it now, I loved the Transformers when I was a little kid. I used to watch the cartoon on Saturday mornings, and I desperately wanted the Optimus Prime Transformer, the full-on. He was the semi-truck, and he had the actual trailer that would open up and had like a little missile launcher thing. And it had the little, oh, what was he called? He had the little like moon rover looking guy, or like little dune buggy guy. Little robot that lived inside him, which was kind of weird. I'm totally blanking on what his name was. But it was the coolest thing. And it was funny because my brother and I, my older brother, we would get Transformer toys, but I always got Autobots and he always got Decepticons. So I wanted Optimus Prime and he wanted Megatron. Megatron, which was the gun, which I guess you could never do now, but he actually looked like a gun, like a welder or something. Or didn't he look like a P-38 or something, if I'm remembering correctly? But I didn't think there was any chance I would get that. I remember looking through the Sears catalog as a kid, and they would have their section that had Transformers on it, and I would cut out the pages and just like stare at them. And my grandpa and grandma were always the ones who, if you had a big present, there was a good chance if you told them what you wanted that you might actually get it from them. And that Christmas in particular, I didn't think I was going to get this Optimus Prime, but there was just something in the back of my mind where there was hope, and I was super excited. And when it finally came to Christmas and we got to go over to my grandpa and grandma's and I opened that up, I was just flabbergasted, floored. It was like my version of the Red Ryder BB gun from Christmas Story. And then my brother got Megatron that same Christmas. So then our ultimate battle could continue with me and Optimus Prime, him with Megatron. I can't remember what other Autobots I had. He had a couple. I think he had Starscream, or maybe it was a different one of the Decepticons that would turn into the airplane. But yeah, that was a big one. That was a big, big Christmas. So I'm very curious to know, and I'm talking about as a child, because that's when this is really like all-encompassing, when you're just thinking of this thing like, oh my God, I need that toy so badly. Did you ever have that as a child, and what was the toy that you received? Or not even the toy, but the gift that you received that was just, that looms largest in your mind? I'm very curious about that. And now, gang, we have to talk about the Seahawks a little bit. Okay. So last week, they kicked the living crap out of the Jets. It was 40-3. That's nice, but they should beat the Jets. The Jets are horrible. They have not won a game this year so far. They are playing, the Seahawks are playing Washington, the Washington football team, this Sunday, or they will have already played them, I think, by the time you're watching this video. And this is one of those games that freaks me out, because if they beat Washington, they will clinch a playoff berth. They're pretty much guaranteed to be in the playoffs. Washington was supposedly horrible. They were in the NFC East. That whole division was a joke. But now Washington has won, I think, 4 games in a row. Can Seattle beat them? I don't know. I'm a little worried about that. And then after Washington, they have the Rams, and then they have the 49ers. I'm sure they should probably be able to beat the 49ers, even though they always play us tough no matter what. The Rams is tough. That's a tough toss-up. So if the Seahawks lose to Washington and then face the Rams, the best they could do is tie in the division. Because if they beat the Rams, then I think we'd be tied if the Rams win this week, which they will because they're playing the Jets. Oh, wouldn't that be hilarious if the Rams lost to the Jets? It's not going to happen. So they have to beat Washington, and then they have to beat the Rams, and that's the only way that they could win the division. Now, does it matter if they win the division? I don't really know. I don't know how all the seeding is going to work out and who they'll be playing in the first round of the playoffs, but they need to make it into the playoffs for anything to happen, and I'm just hoping that they can wrap it up with the win over Washington this week. We shall see. I'm still not convinced. You've noticed probably the strange ups and downs that I've been experiencing over the Seahawks this year because they never seem to be convincing. The win over the Jets was convincing, obviously, but that's the Jets. So it would be really great to be able to just convincingly beat Washington because they've been playing very well, and then I'd be feeling a lot more confident going in with that game, or going into that game with the Rams. We shall see. So cool. I'm still using this app on my phone to record with, so I can see the screen, or basically just see the live view of the camera. I can control my ISO, my shutter speed, everything from this. It's very cool, but I keep checking to make sure that I'm actually recording. All right, gang, it is time for #AskStuffandThings, and that is where you ask me questions, and I do my best to answer them on the Sunday Stuff and Things. If you have a question for me and you would like it answered on Sunday Stuff and Things, tweet at @SATBradley with the #AskStuffandThings. Also, if you are a Patreon supporter, you can ask me questions there, and I also will try to pick some questions from YouTube every once in a while. So first off, this week, we have a question from Turf Smurf at BSSmurf1974. Smurf says, "Hey Bradley, is everything okay with your channels? I've been unsubbed twice this week from both of your channels. Don't want to pry, just concerned is all. #AskStuffandThings." I don't know why this is happening, but a couple other people have said that they have found themselves unsubbed to my channels as well. I don't know. I don't know why YouTube does this. All I can say is just check your subscriptions, because some people have also said oh, I'm not getting any of your videos in my feed, and then they check and they realize that they're not subscribed to me anymore. I don't know why it happens. I know that they will clean out subs that they think are inactive, or channels or users who are inactive. Obviously you're not, because you're looking for my videos. So all I can recommend to everybody out there is subscribe for sure, because then you can get your videos in my feed. And then if you think you are subscribed, just check and make sure that you still are, because sometimes YouTube will just randomly unsubscribe you from certain channels. I don't know why, but thanks for the question, Turf Smurf. Next, from Eric Thalman, at Eric Thalman. Eric says, "When watching the Sunday SAT, what is the black and white picture behind you on the lower right? I think it's a turtle. My son thinks it's a spider. Are we both wrong?" Well, Eric, the picture here will not really be in focus because my camera wants to focus on my eyes. I guess, could I make it focus on this? I think I can. Focus on that. I think it's focusing on that. My little touch screen isn't working amazingly well there. There. I think it's focused on this, and that is Julie the jumping spider. It's a portrait of Julie, the happiest jumping spider in the world. I think I've mentioned her before. So your son was right. You were wrong, Eric. I'm sorry. Okay, I think it's going back to my face now. Focus. It's really cool. Next, from YouTube, we have a question from Glory or Death 116. "I was curious, what are your personal thoughts, feelings on buying pre-owned pipes from eBay? You know, have you ever, will you never, or what? You know, have you ever, will you never, that kind of thing." Okay. Oh, and anyone else who reads this in the comments, feel free to drop your thoughts on it as well. I myself have bought a couple of pipes off eBay already. Either way, really dig the channel and keep up the good work, my friend. I have mentioned in the past that if you're going to buy something off eBay, you just need to be careful. You need to know what you're looking for. You need to know the hallmarks of, especially if you're spending a lot of money. If you're looking for a pipe that's kind of collectible, Know the nomenclature for that pipe and the year you're looking at. Make sure that whatever you're seeing on eBay matches up with what you know. Look for telltale signs of shenanigans, because sometimes people try to take a pipe and make it look like it is in better shape than it actually is. Look for signs of burnout. Look for signs of a stem that has just been like buffed to within an inch of its life, so there's almost no stem left, but they're just trying to get the bite marks out or tooth marks out. Look for all that kind of thing. With me, I have no issue using used pipes. This is a pipe that was used, this Peterson sterling silver spigot. I think I actually got it off a pipe website, not eBay, but I've gotten pipes off eBay before. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that I'm using at the moment that was an eBay pipe, but I definitely have done that, and I have no issue with it. Just be careful and do your research. But gang, that's it for questions this week. Thank you so much for sending them in. Please send your questions at SATBradley with the hashtag askstuffandthings, and I will answer them. But it's time for the best part of the show, and that is where we thank you, the Patreon supporters, for supporting the channels at $25 or more a month. We have a couple new ones this week, and it's quite exciting. So now allow me to thank Ryan McFadin, MD of the North, Kirk Crompton, Cody Striegler, Glenn, Gus, Jason Buckner, Jen O'Side, John Leone, and a brand new $25 supporter, Krisztian Kovacs. There's an interesting spelling here. I've been told this is a Hungarian name, but I'm going to say Krisztian. There's a Z there. Krisztian. I'm going to say Krisztian Kovacs. Thank you very much. And now the Maniac tier. People who support the channel at $100 or more a month. People like Peter Straub, Bob Magee, and David Gaudreau. Thank you very much. That is our good friend David from Luxurious Bastard Beard Company has jumped up to the Maniac tier. Gang, thank you so much for your support. If you would like to support the channel on Patreon, there is a link in the description box below. There are also t-shirts for sale below as well. I don't know if you'd be able to get them on time for Christmas now. Probably not, but maybe a New Year's gift. Check that out. Thank you for subscribing. Please check to make sure that you actually are subscribed. Stay tuned for the Sutliff Cringle Flake 2020 first impressions video that's going to be coming up on Wednesday. We're going to be having Cyberpunk and Soma on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. And then on this coming Sunday, we'll have a little after Christmas check-in video in place of the normal Sunday Stuff and Things. But until next time, until we meet again, I've been your good friend Bradley. You've been the audience. This has been Stuff and Things on a pleasant Sunday Stuff and Things. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I'll see you later.